Hey everybody, we're live with my friend Orlando Johnson. Wanted to have Orlando on for quite some time, and I finally scored the hat trick. Orlando, I'm blessed to have you. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed not to be stressed. On my worst day, call me less stressed. Yes.
Hey, what kind of coat is that you're wearing, by the way?
I don't know. My daughter got this for my birthday, so I don't know. It's just a
That's
nice
nice.
little windbreaker. Yeah, yes. No mean
Yeah, that's
Christmas.
nice. It looks
Yeah,
like sack. I didn't know at first for a second I thought it was like a mink or something. Where it was
yeah.
like it looks cool.
Got the
It
zippers
looks
on the
like
side.
yeah. It looks really cool, man. It looks like a fashion statement. It's
Yes.
pretty cool. Hey, tell my viewers, first of all, talk about yourself before we talk about how Oakland is doing. But how tell my viewers about why they should be listening to you. I mean, they should be listening to you because you've been around a long time in the political game.
Yes.
Tell them what you've been doing.
Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Orlando Johnson. I'm a native of Oakland. I was born in Highland Hospital, 1973, 8:35 in the morning. I grew up in the 23rd area. I have with my mother and my father. I have a brother and a sister. To move it up, I lived in the areas of when Oakland had its new demographic changes, where all the crime, violence, systematic drugs, whatever came. So living through those eras and times, I went through the system. I went to a group home when I was younger. Wound up going to the California Youth Authority for 11 years, 2 months. Got out the Youth Authority, Oakland City Jail, Oakland County Jail, Santa Rita Prison, John George. And to sum it up, after going through all those challenges in Oakland and beating the system, I started a record company in 1999, and I met a young artist by the name of Young Heathen. He was rapping. He said, "Hey, I know an older guy that's doing political work. What you trying to get into?" So to sum it up, the guy name was Wilson Rouse. He was a former city council member, a guy with good morals and values. So Wilson said, "Hey, I see you've been through a lot, and I can help you change your life if you just get involved in the political aspects of it." In the process of it, I have 5 kids, 6 grandkids, been married going on 27 years, God first. So I took that
Congratulations.
challenge. Thank you. So I took that challenge on. So when I met Wilson, Wilson always told me, "My friends is my friends. Earn your way. Don't live off me. Do what you need to do because I see the potentials in you." So to sum it up, in 2000, I got involved in the political process, working on various campaigns, meeting a few people. So in the process of it, what inspired me, I worked on Amy Allison campaign. And in the process of working on Amy Allison campaign, I was always good friends. I was good friends with Chauncey Bailey. Rest in peace to Chauncey Bailey. And Chauncey, we was going, giving the information. So I said one day I was at Walter Rouse' house, and they had a fundraiser and so forth. And I was like, man, I can do this. I think I can bridge the gap with my experience. So in 2005, after the campaign was over, I decided to run for mayor in 2006. So Chauncey put the article in the paper, and my platform was pretty much block to block. Every individual in the neighborhood, they'll turn their neighborhood into nonprofits. So if you got a home, you like to do this and change the narrative. So in the process of me pushing the block for block, certain people didn't want that to happen because they didn't want me to split the votes between Ron Dellums and Della Fuente. So in the process, they didn't want me to split the votes. I met Mr. Ron Dellums. So in the process of meet Mr. Dellums, Mr. Dellums said, "Hey, young brother, I heard about you. I see what you're trying to do, but hey, this is what it is." So he ran down how is it important, the importance of just being a man of integrity and principles, but pretty much how the system pretty much runs. So in the process of it, I dropped out the mayor's race, didn't run, and once he got in, before he got in office, he created a committee of 800 people, and he broke it down to 40 groups. I was part of one of those groups that got elected, and it was writing policies basically around police reform, police policies. I was fortunate enough to be blessed around Walter Rouse, Rashida Garage. So I was fortunate enough to be part of a unique process. So to sum it up, in the process of that, I knew that my work was never done, no matter if you're in the office or not in office. So I sit down and talk with Wilson. So we came up with the municipal city ID card, local currency. So in the process of it, I'm advocating it and I'm pushing it. So I understand that if you don't have a platform and continue your platform, if you in or not in office, is in vain. So the second time I ran in 2010. So in 2010, my platform was the Oakland Municipal City ID card, local currency. But by me running the first time and I understood the logistics of it, I did something that was extraordinary. I dropped out of the mayor's race because I'm a Green Party member, and I became Don McClay campaign manager in that race. So in the process of me being his campaign manager, and I was still allowed to share the municipal ID and the local currency, we pushed the whole narrative as a campaign manager. We did 35 official community events. We was a part of the Gene Kwan. I was also part of the IRV when the election first started, vote 1, 2, or 3. I understood the process because we ran the campaign without no money. It was for the people. So in the process of that, after the mayor's election was over with, me, Don, and the Greens, we decided to form the Oakland Green Party chapter. For me as an African American, to give our folks the voice and give them the education behind it. But I still made focus on local currency ID card. So in the process of 2012, the council voted 6-1 to pass the municipal city ID card local currency, pretty much on their platform. So now it's done. So my job is to continue to do is advocate for the Oakland local currency, because that's just going to eliminate a lot of the city infrastructures, jobs, payments. So if you have something locally and the money is only spent in Oakland, and you got big whatever coming in and out of Oakland, and they're trying to get Oakland land, the money's going to stand in there. If half of the police department doesn't work in Oakland, but if you take that funding and you keep it in the local, it wouldn't matter who ins and out, the money stays there. When people come and visit Oakland, now you have a debit card to where now you can shop. The money stays in Oakland. The jobs and the business and the merchants all work together because now they get the benefits and the percentages from the bank because you're participating into this program. So once the ID card got passed through the city, it shows the logistic that this is realistic and it works. So myself and Wilson, I can leave his email, but Wilson has more of the infrastructure on how it really works and how it can benefit the people. We've been working on this since 2006. So we met with a lot of bankers, scholars, vendors, anything that has to do around economy, economists. And if you look at Berkshire, if you look at their local currency, a lot of the currencies that we have, is basically similar to what a lot of folks is doing now. We're not saying people are using our ideal strategy. We just want to just keep it Oakland, stay focused on that mission. When it comes to violence and crime, if everyone got a card, everyone understand financial literacy, mental wellness is also a serious issue. I also am a peer advisor for Alameda County Care Connect. I do the tech department and train older folks on how to use the technology from cell phones to computers and data wrap. So to sum it up, I use all that experience, like I said again, to push the currency and help folks.
I have to ask you, because I'm actually putting this on Twitter about the currency. Does it have its own Twitter account? Can I get it right?
Yeah, pretty much they can just Google search Wilson Rouse.
Okay.
Oakland local currency, and then it'll come up as Acorns. So it's Acorns. So Acorns is pretty much the Lonia of Indians. that had the Oakland and they bought it in acorns, but ours is acorn, so it's alternative currency for Oakland residents and neighbors.
But is there a website I can send people
Not
to
actually.
right now?
No.
Yes or
you
no?
can go to a WordPress. No, but you can go to a WordPress. You type in Wilson Rouse Acorn. It's on a WordPress.
WordPress, my friend, is a website like Oakland News Now, for example.com.
Yes.
That's okay. We'll work it through because I want to make sure people hear this. So
yes, if they Google search it, it'll pop up. Let me look on my phone.
I'm doing it right now for you. So just walk me through it. So what am I searching? Oakland local.
Wilson Rouse.
Okay.
And then type in Acorn, ACORN, and it should pop.
ACORN, Acorn. In Google, right?
Yes.
I have something that says the Acorn can become mightier than $1 from 2010.
Okay.
Then I have the Oakland City Card.wordpress.com, right?
Yes, that's what is on there.
That's it. Okay, so let me write that down, folks, right here through the magic of because I found the website. It is Oakland, OAKLAND City. Excuse me, folks, for this. Oakland City ID card dot WordPress.com. Okay. And putting that in there, and boom, there that is. Oakland City ID card.wordpress.com.
Yes.
And that is so we're gonna go over there right now.
Yes.
You can see online here, through the magic of StreamYard, what it looks like. Oakland, hold on a second here. Let me do something real quick here.
Yes.
Oakland.
And then Zinnia also got Wilson contact information at the bottom of what you'll read on the WordPress.
Okay. All right. Now, wait a second. Make something else too here. Boom. Okay. All right. Now, I'll set that up later. But what you should have done, or what he should have done, is what I just did, and I'll just let you guys have it. But it should be Oakland. This is what it should be. Your URL. It should be Oakland, OAKLAND, City, right? ID card, .com. That's really what it should be, right?
I see the ID card and the currency card is separate. You can go get the Oakland ID card now at the 250 building, Franco Gower Plaza.
Right, but I'm saying that you guys should have this URL. You should own this.
Okay.
I bought it just now.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, I'm saying this because I'm going to pass this to you all. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to engineer it so that when people go to OaklandCityIDcard.com, they'll go to Wilson's page, right?
Okay.
Because here's why. Because absent my work, what I just did and explaining it to you, if someone had went, as I'm doing right now, to Wilson's site, okay, Oakland, City Card, ID card, .com, right? If I went, excuse me, try that one more time. Sorry, Oakland. Oh yeah, AKLAND City ID card .wordpress.com. All right. Now, now let me show you this. Okay, this is right here. Share the screen here. And what is that? Well, there you go. Right. There's your page. There is the site, folks. Oakland City ID card. Now, this has been around since 2010. The last entry here was 2012, right? It looks like petition for approval. So where this is exciting, but candidly, it also looks like it needs a lot of hands to help it out, like I just did.
So basically, the coalition, because we're part of a coalition, so I believe someone in the coalition has that website.
Okay.
So as we was pushing for the currency, we're letting folks know that, hey, this is it. But for us, for the currency, we are going to have a website to just function and push that. But for those folks who wasn't educated, we can get them the back history on what we're doing, what's current up to now, and what's implemented.
Okay, can I encourage that you get more people involved? Because, for example, I already own the URL for this because the people involved didn't either know enough or care enough to buy the URL. And the reason why I did this is to demonstrate that, look, when you start putting this stuff out there, and people who, like me, who are web savvy, who do this like every second of every day,
yes,
are going to see the value of this, and they're going to take it from you like that. Okay?
Gotcha.
You don't want that to happen. And so and this is, and I don't mean to monopolize, because I'll go back to my original format, but this is important. We as African Americans in particular have to stop what I call group of collaboration. In other words, I know people in my group and I like them, so I will only work with them. As opposed to, I know Zinni, and maybe Zinni's not my best friend, but he has qualities that I need help with, so I'm going to call him, right?
Yeah.
See, that's how we expand. Okay? But this has been sitting here since 2012.
Yes.
And now we're in the middle of a cryptocurrency revolution.
Yes.
And this should be further advanced than it is.
Yes.
Yet here it sits, okay? So
yes.
Already we have a URL for at least one part of it.
Yes.
Someone needs to go, okay, well, what the hell? Let me see if
you can talk with Wilson and you can get it done. Y'all can get it done.
Well, here's the thing, though. I've gotten more done just sitting here before. He needs to call me.
Yeah.
The last time I talked to Wilson about something, I was trying to explain to him online, and he was a little bit, he was nasty to me for no reason, okay? So, and I just stopped. I thought, okay, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my point in I was trying to help him get out his story prior to that. So Wilson has to call me because there is a lot of work here that needs to be done. That just it needs the help of people who know. It says the Oakland City currency is the other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oakland City currency. All right, that's also available. OaklandCityCurrency.com. I just bought it. All right.
Yeah.
So these are okay. So I spent $20 to get you guys out of a situation that you didn't even know existed. Yeah. And I mean, this is how bad it is. You've got organizations like the Oakland Post. The Oakland Post does not even own OaklandPost.com. Orlando.
Yes.
All right. We're falling behind in little ways that we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, somebody else is owning the identity that you really want, and you don't have the power to do anything about it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Just change that for you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
No problem. This is where the rubber meets the road with this stuff. So you tell Wilson's got to get off his stuff, and I'm saying this, stop big timing everybody like he's got it when he doesn't. Call me, okay? So we can straighten this stuff out and get him on the right path and get you all on the right path in terms of accelerating a program that is really behind. It really is behind schedule, if you will. Okay. And that's what I'm doing here. All right. So that's paid for there. That's processed. And then I'll go ahead and after we're done talking here, I'll hook these websites up. All right. Um, so we got OaklandCityIDcard.com, which I'll hook up so they can go there. And then this isn't for the currency; it's a separate one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll hook that too. So you'll have both of those URLs to go to. And then if you guys want to have control of those, I can just slide those over to you, no charge at all. You know, that's it. So there you go. Okay. And
Yeah.
that's okay, because this is technical stuff here.
Yes.
Right. And okay.
Right.
All right. So, all right. So now,
So
continue, please.
yeah. So in the process of just doing that work, I work for Alameda County Care Connect, and pretty much we was handpicked it to be part of a special group, and we was the group that started the COVID. So when you see 5 Keys, the Radisson, the Safer Ground program, we was the peers, and we continue doing the work right now to outreach and help organizations get them the proper training and understand the language. Like if someone come in there and say, hey, I have high blood pressure, and until you come into there and tell somebody, hey man, you got hypertension, take this pill. Some people don't understand the difference. So we work with providers to get them the common language to help folks that's in the community.
Nice.
And we do this all over the county. Also, I'm on the Green Party County Council Board. So I'm a county board member, and that's over 22 cities. I was a state delegate for the last 2 years, and pretty much, like I say, just advocating for the currency, but I'm more of a person like to stick on one process, support the narratives, but never lose focus, because a lot of folks don't understand, like the city council, the Robert Rules of Order. They don't understand that you can go to the council meeting on one agenda and you can voice the opposition, and then you coming into council yourself and you trying to push your agenda, but they only know you from this opposition. So I show people how to just to stay in their lane. I've been doing this for 22 years. I've been around the best. I does it for those folks who not here, or those folks that's here that's not in position to do it. Like I say, been around Wilson and a lot of other great folks. I was a campaign buddy from 2010 until currently. So I worked with a lot of the mayor candidates, city council candidates, state board candidates, as relationship, as consultant, as a friend. Some of the quote unquote names that you see around, I just pretty much work together to keep the city focused and not leave the mark that what the older folks did goes in vain. Whatever they argue and bicker over, hey, that's their thing. But the relationship that we have is to continue the legacy and keep the tools sharp. And it's never about money. It's about knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and insight. And whatever you create out of it is going to produce the value of what you put into.
Hey, so tell me, first of all, Mama Harper says, hello, Zinni. I'm feeling your eyeglasses, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
The best in your efforts. Do you know Mama Harper?
Yeah. I'm good with faces.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, so talk to me about the mayor's race from a Green Party perspective. What does it look like? There's no Green Party candidate yet, is there?
No, not yet. Not yet. We look for some candidates right now as we speak to run for some councils, school board, districts. But pretty much what we're looking for, and I can just speak for me personally by having experience, I'm really looking for a person that's not about a 2 to a 4 year term. I'm more in about, do you got a platform? Do you got a policy? Does it have the people behind it? Is it locally? Is it grassroots attached to it? So there's nothing wrong with us younger folks coming with great ideas, but the elders can't be a victim of their great ideas because they already had the movement already. So I believe if it have those attachments and you getting them to get their roses, their legacy, their stamp, what they worked hard for, then I'm with that type of candidate.
What is there a candidate that comes close to that right now, or?
Oakland is pretty much tricky because you still have to wait till August. So you can have so many people jump in the mayor's race now, say, hey, I'm running, I'm doing this, and yada, yada, yada. And then August come in, you know, you might just be just speaking in general. You're like, hey, Jerry Brown just jumped in the race. Then next thing you know, everybody that was supporting the folks that's the network is going to shift the narrative. So I pretty much look at more up to the August and how it's pretty much going to play out.
What do you think of, who do you consider as to be the front runner? Let me put it this way before I ask you about, well, let me just go over that. Who do you consider the front runner right now?
Right now, I don't really see them like as no front runners. I'm pretty much looking at who put in enough work and the work is being done now. So the names that's in here, like I said again, I can't make a judgment because a lot of the candidates might have did like I did and be put in a situation to where you might have to jump out the race. So now you have to take 1, 2, or 3. So the candidate that I would suggest to have a number 1 and a number 3, not a number 2, a number 1 and a number 3, then that's the candidate I support. But if you have a number 1 and 2 candidate, it's pretty much like you can't judge it because 1 or 2 might have the same platform. So if you talk about, like, if you got a candidate, he's talking about police brutality or crime, right? Then you got another candidate that's talking about housing and so forth, right? So if you got both of these candidates that's not actually doing no work right now, how can I support them as 1 and 2 if they're not doing the work? You know what I mean? Putting the real work. So I'm not in candidates that can showboat. They can bring a lot of money in. You know, they can, you know, shake and move the gang. I want to see a candidate that's going to be here forever. You know, if you're out of office, you can consult somebody else to help whatever you're working on move forward.
Let's have a little bit of fun, courtesy of Oakland News Now's nifty immediate access campaign portal on the front page of my proud blog site, and it is visible right here. And as we say, voila, there it is. And what we're going to do is close that. And as it closes, it's going to take us to the City of Oakland Public Ethics Commission public portal. And you say, well, gee, how did we get there? Well, I'll show you. You can go to Oakland News Now, folks. Okay. OaklandNewsNow.com. See that? See that, Mr. Robinson?
Gotcha.
And just scroll down a little bit. You can go to City Council. Hey, look at that. It even outlines it in red for you. Well, really white with red backing. Oakland elections. Click on it, and it will slide you right over. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, yes.
Elegance in coding. So anyway, scroll down, and as they say popularly, boom. I don't know who came up with that, but whatever. And 11/08/2022 candidate election. It's in small print, but guess what? Through the magic of the web, we're going to zoom in and make those words bigger. And then we're going to zoom in a little bit more and make those words bigger. And then scroll down because they're bigger. And we're going to zoom in even a little bit more than that to make those words even bigger and yet even more because it's not big enough. And I think that's about pretty much got it. So let's scroll down here. We've got City Auditor, City of Oakland. City Council. Let's have some fun here. Nobody's running. Maybe you should run for City Auditor. Hey, City Council District 2, Nikki Fortunato Bass is running for re-election. District 4, Jahani Matranjan is running unopposed. Did I pronounce her last name correctly?
I think so.
Johnny Ramandran. That's it. Then City Council District 6. We have Paula Gonzalez, Kevin Jenkins, and Lauren Taylor. Lauren's running for re-election. His name is there, right?
Yes.
right? So
Right.
we have director, school district, nobody running. District 4, 2 or 6, no candidates there. Then we come to mayor. And we have it's still loading. It's still loading. Boom. The big list, folks. I'll read them off and then we'll go one by one with my friend and talk about each. We have Ignacio De La Fuente, Greg Hodge, Derek Johnson, Tyron Jordan, Peter Liu, Trevor Reed, council member of District 7, John Riemann, actually, who is a socialist, Stephen Shear, who I know little about, Seneca Scott, Derek Sue, Lauren Taylor, what? Shingtown, Victory, Villanueva. Lauren told me he was only going to run for mayor and not council. Yet his name is still here twice. By contrast, Shang Tao had her name both for District 4 and mayor. She took her name off District 4 and left Johnny unopposed. What do you make of that, Orlando? I mean
it's
what is this?
It's not until August, but that's a good list. I mean, if I was picking and looking at the charts, basically, like I said again, off my just personal relationship, De La Fuente is one. It'd be one candidate, not because we worked, not because he was the guy that didn't want me to split the votes, but as a person that's doing some work. Second is Greg Hodge, because I know his work. He did a lot of mentoring me as I was, coming up, and just still now did some stuff in LA with him. So them the only two names. If it goes back down.
With him? That's news. That's news. What are you doing in LA with Greg Hodge?
So basically, I was part of the Oakland Municipal City ID, and we had it was pretty much a big conference, and it was with the Black and Brown, and it was like over 500 organizations that was there, and we was pretty much connecting the dots, seeing what we doing over here in Northern California between Southern California, and it was a big boost. It was a nice conference. A lot of the mayor at that time, the Hispanic guy that was mayor at that time. It was a great conference.
Wow. Where is that now in process?
I don't know.
Okay. So what do you think of Derek Johnson?
I don't know much of him. I heard a lot of stories about him, about the work he did, the Waffle House, growing up in the town. I believe he's a good candidate, but I don't know too much of his work. So, like I said, I would never discredit none of those candidates on it, because I was one of those candidates at the time.
I remember, yeah.
Even as a campaign manager, they had an article in what was that? I think East Bay Times, and they called us dark horses. Mm-hmm. If you Google search Orlando, call us dark horses. So I understand the political realm. So I apply all of them, but like I said again, 1, 2, or 3, it'd be Ignacio, Greg, and it'd be Taylor. That's the only. But like I said again, it can change in August. So if another candidate comes, then you already got the top 2 already. You're looking at who's really going to move the city and who's not just moving it for popularity. It's like you ask somebody, what's the city charter rules? If you're a candidate, you don't know the city charter rules. And then you're a candidate, that none of these positions is jobs. You're just elected here. You have your own personal life, that each of these positions is for the people. It's not for them to do everything. So when you get folks who don't understand the system, they think like, hey, this person is going to do good for us, and don't understand systematically this person's job might just be a campaign. So if you're going to be the mayor, that means you got to have a great connection, not just with Oakland, but our sister cities. You got to understand that the transactions, you got to have a good relationship, not with the port, but the individuals. So instead of going by putting everyone else in the category, have a relationship with the individuals. If you don't, partner with someone that does have that relationship, so you would never get caught up into the negativity of situation, because somebody gonna tell you no. Somebody not gonna answer their phone. So if you got a candidate that understand that his team got the push, that's gonna happen. But like I said again, Zenny, you might jump in the race in August. It'll change the narrative.
No, nothing else.
I'm just saying hypothetically, it'll change the narrative. So I just look at candidates from now into the city council out in June. How much work are they actually doing? Do they understand the precincts? Do they understand the precincts area? Do they understand, since it's COVID, the Oakland City ordinance is different? Do they understand how you're going to get body of people if they don't have a COVID card? How you going to have a diverse group that hit these neighborhoods where allegedly the crime rate supposed to be high? And that's one misperception that I think they put on Oakland, because Oakland has that status, and Oakland moves good about the violence and the crime and the killing and the madness, but it overshadows all the young folks that's doing great work, all the people that got their moms and pop stores, their detail shops, their nonprofits. They get overshadowed by that. But when you look at Oakland is more a migration city. It's more of a migration. And what I mean, and it's in all respect, because only people was born in Oakland was only during the generation time, Highland Hospital, Oakland Hospital, those summits and Merritt. So most of the folks that was born, they was born in Altabates. And then they live in Oakland. So when you take that in a case, when a lot of folks that have family members outside of Oakland and they come to Oakland and violence or whatever happened, they blame it on the whole city of Oakland. You might get something to say, well, Oakland murder rates is high. All this going on. But what about all the good stuff that's going on? If you show number negative, that's what all people going to feel. So as me being a young, I want to show people the positive side of Oakland. So if you show that narrative, younger folks going to know it's okay to get up out of a systematic mindset. It's the mindset. It's the culture. It's a wave. It's just only that you in a city with a population of 400 plus thousand people, and the areas where it's demographic at, out of 7 districts, is broke down in 20,000. 20,000 district 1, 2, 3, and then it's broke down in different classes. So as us as the people break down the mindset of different classes, as I'm an African American, I live in the Oakland Hills. I'm Black, I live below MacArthur. I'm a Negro because I live below Foothill. And if we take that mindset, and sometimes the educational mindset goes in those 3 levels. Hey, you can't talk to me on the academic level. You got to run on sentence. We can't really communicate. We don't understand each other. Then you get to the other, hey, the communication. So I think that we all have the mindset is no one is better than no one. We all on the same level. We all have imperfections. Sometimes I might say something to you, not out of being impersonal, impersonal, like, hey, I just don't care about your feelings or whatnot. Sometimes my way of crossing, if you know me, it's no harm intention by it. And we have that in the culture.
How's Oakland doing?
To me, Oakland is thriving, is motivated. The new scenery with the young folks, they're moving with the arts. The nonprofits really stepped up. A lot of them was involved in the vaccination, the testing sites, pretty much getting a lot of because you got a lot of folks don't understand this. I'm 48, so a lot of my kids is, my daughter's 22 daughters, 32, daughter 29, 28. So when you looking in that type of mindset, these is our children that's out there. So when we're doing the right things systematically, make it seem like Oakland is not doing nothing. Oakland is like the 50th popular state in the world. A lot of the trends and formula comes from Oakland. A lot of people captivate. So to me, Oakland is always going to be good. I look at it as like you got a house, you living with folks, everybody's going to agree to disagree, everything not perfect, but at the end of the day, we're going to get better. So I look
what do we have to work on? Because from 3,000 miles away, I get the videos that show the homelessness, the crime, the reports, the constant discussion regarding defunding the police. And I get that because we don't have the Raiders anymore to present Oakland in a good light just by being mentioned with the team and whatever it does. We don't have the Warriors in Oakland where you would see Oakland's name come up just in looking at who the Warriors are going to play at home, because they're in San Francisco and not at Oracle Arena in Oakland anymore.
Correct.
And then we have the constant talk about the A's leaving. So my point is, from a perspective that I get 3,000 miles away through media, there's always something negative going on in Oakland reported more than the good stuff, because we don't have enough good engines out there in our city reporting what they're doing and what's happening. So help me out.
But if you look, they're just my personal opinion, none with no one else.
Right.
Right. It's like Oakland sometimes can be operation exploited, right? So now you see a lot of people that, I'm gonna give you a prime example. I worked on the stop Goldman Sachs. When Goldman Sachs got Oakland, selling off all these different properties because they might have feel that you have a dysfunctional system, right? So when you look at the Raiders, the A's, all these folks that was in the city, the crime rate was just as high as the same. What reports did you hear? Operation Exploit. We only going to show you the good things of Oakland when it's necessary, but we're going to show you the bad parts, because now we're looking at property people that can come in and regenify this place. So, hey, we're going to show that they got slums, they got this. And then you go to somebody that said, hey, man, what you trying to do to clean this up? Oh, man, we trying to do this. Well, we're going to go to the city council when we see that, everything might go in your favor. So you want to perpetuate this, but besides that, having that trash, your friend worked for Caltrans. You get what I'm saying? So if you look at a lot of property in Oakland and you see a lot of the quote unquote homeless people, they own Caltrans land. You ask a lot of these organizers that's on there, they would have grouped so they can keep this land. So it's not homeless people. You have educated people. That's why I say no one is better than no one. Don't judge a person by their content. You got to look at their character. So when they realize that, hey, these people smart and brilliant, where is it the case in Oakland? And not saying it like that. If these homeless people were so worth, it wouldn't be no homeless person, because we're going through the fourth pandemic. So obviously they're doing something right. If they can sit out here and bring RVs and build houses and shelters and do all this, who helped organize that? You get what I'm saying? So if you look at a lot of situations in Oakland, that's why I said again, it's so important for us to have that local currency in there. So when all these folks trying to come in here and pull us and take all our historical land away, you can't do it because the money is here. You can't do nothing. You can't buy your way in the Oakland politics like you could do if you had the currency. You had the currency, you can't buy your way in. Most people can buy their way in. If you got $1 million, you can be the mayor.
AJ asks, he says, what's your take on what's happening with some of these schools, and the school board?
Well, just saying, speaking for me personally, I worked with a guy named Mike Hudson on his campaign.
He's been on a bunch of times.
Yeah, he's on the school board, District 5. And I think my take again is we're miseducated about the school board because folks don't understand it's a county school board that oversees all these local school boards, and they set all the moderations for these schools. So that's my take on it, is we have to understand the county school boards and the separate of the two school unions that makes these big decisions, and have our school board people pretty much, like I said again, get paid off on certain benefits because they need their thing. So my take is like I said again, is just understanding it. I really don't like name, because I like to always put a alternative solution where somebody is weak at. So if I see the school board is messed up, like I said again, I understand Mike is in there. Now I feel that, hey, if we implement the currency in there, where I have enough money that to stay in our schools, so our school buildings don't have to depend on, if the enrollment depends on how much money your school going to get a month. I mean, yeah. So if you kids getting what 50 to what $500,000 to $1 million a day for kids to have capacity. So if you do that for 30 days and another 30 days, and you wonder why these kids is not having the proper stuff they need, because like I said again, it's individuals, it's not the system.
And as we work to a close, I promised 30 minutes, but it's 46 now. What do you want to see Oakland get better at doing?
Personally, to understand our elders that paved the way for us when it comes to this political climate. I think if we get better at that, that we have a right to agree to disagree. I think if we get better at that, and I think we get better as lastly is our younger folks respect the path that these older folks took. And if we can continue that path, that's what I feel is going to make Oakland better. And I'm doing my part, to continue that happening and to continue to look for it. I don't have to be on the news. I don't have to be on TV. I don't have to do all that. But at the end of the day, I get the work done, because that's why the elders give
you're
me
on TV now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like, and I'm so thankful for you, Zini, of giving me the platform. I've been knowing you for years. We've been talking, good news in Oakland before that came out. And I just appreciate your work and your contribution. And, off camera, the work and the things that I see that what you're trying to do. And that's where I come in as one of the younger folks, to get people to understand a certain, because it's all within individuals, the side of you and the things that, hey, he's Oakland, he put in a lot of work. You might don't like the situation that he's in, but if you listen to him, you'll learn something.
Orlando, that's the last word, and I want to have you back. Folks, subscribe to Zenny62, bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, and later tonight we'll have more on the lawsuit that now former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores has filed against the National Football League, alleging racism and hiring of head coaches. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, and that ends this broadcast. Stick around in the background, Orlando.